This is the Starlight Express Alumni Podcast.
Hi everyone, my name is Nelson Yee and I'm a Starlight Express alumni. The beginning of my journey started with seeing the show on the West End, the original cast. And once I saw it, I knew that was a show that I was cut out for. That's what I wanted to do. And I had been visiting the UK, saw the show, came back to the States, and sought out the auditions. And I think my first audition happened to be in Los Angeles. And went to that audition, and I always thought I was cut out for the skating. The vocals needed some work, but they were okay. And I always thought that I was cut out for the show, and the skating kind of made everything equal with all the amazing dancers that were auditioning for the show. And so went to the audition in LA, and I had a good time. It was fun. And eventually I moved, once the show opened in New York, eventually I moved there trying to get into the show. And I'd been there for about a year, and the show closed, and I was devastated. And next thing I know, I happened to be going to visiting home, and I got a call from Johnson & Liff in New York, and I had been cast in the U.S. tour, and that was just a big moment for me. And of course, I accepted, and it just changed my life.
Yeah, we actually worked together on that tour.
Yes, we did.
That was fun. Well, what was the for you? Share with everyone the audition itself, the experience. Who was there? What did you do? What was the challenging part? Just share a little bit of the audition process for you, that experience.
In LA, I can't remember if we danced first or if we just went straight to skates. I'm pretty sure we danced first, and then they asked us to put on skates, and some were supplied. I had brought my own, and like I said, it just seemed like a great equalizer because I was very comfortable on skates, and it was the audition piece they used for the guys was the Rocky number. And, it was fun. I was sore the next day from doing the side straddle, and the coffee grinders, and I just remember going out of there feeling good about it. I thought I did well. So it was a fun process.
Yeah. Now, on your first day of rehearsal, because we did the U.S. tour, we did it, and we rehearsed in New York. What was your first day of rehearsal like for you?
Oh my goodness, we were at the 46th Street Theater.
46th Street Theater.
I remember I came in a week late. Now I think some of you people who had done Germany,
yes,
I'd come in late also.
Right.
So it wasn't bad. It was like a bunch of people coming in at the same time. Fortunately, they were still working on skating, and I was still comfortable. I was comfortable with it, so it wasn't like I had much catching up to do. And just walking into that theater in New York was just so awesome.
For me, it was like surreal because it was on Broadway, and it was in New York. Most incredible experience, I know, for me. So what was the first thing you did in the audition? I mean, not the audition, but the rehearsal.
Oh, I remember just doing a lot of paperwork. And then,
of course.
And then going into skate classes with Michael Fraley. Mm-hmm. And, meeting everybody. And I think by the time I had gotten there, almost everyone was there. I was part of the component, so I met Michael Denby Kane. Yeah. I met Angela Papello. I met your wife, Renee.
Yeah. Because you played what? You played the role of what? Krupp, was it?
Yes.
You were Krupp, right? Krupp, one of the components.
Yes. And I can't forget Kim Gladman was Volta.
Kim.
Angela was Jewel.
Right.
And Michael King was Purse.
Right.
And Eric Clausel was Electra.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a
That
great
was fun. I think that actually we came later because we were all skaters.
Yeah.
And we didn't really have to go through the skate training process for the most part, because we were, most of us had already done the show, and then you obviously they had notes saying that you were already a skater.
Yeah. And I remember a lot of them had been skating on the carpet in the lobby.
Yeah.
And we didn't do that.
No. Michael Fraley's famous for having people do carpet skating.
Yeah.
They do that in Germany, right down the hallway. They would go to the hallway and just do carpet skating for like hour to 2 hours. It was horrible. I never did it, but I heard all the others would complain about that. But Michael pretty much knew what he was doing, so that's why he's been able to train everyone for all these decades.
Yeah.
Now,
a lot of us, and I think including you, were former Muppets.
Yes.
Yeah. So there were quite a few people who done that before. So we had skated in shows before with partial vision.
Right, exactly. I remember my first time skating was Sesame Street. It was in black light. I had a sheet on and the stage. I had to learn how to skate. I learned how to skate with Sesame Street, and then learn how to skate in these incredible costumes. So going to Starlight was easy for me.
Right.
But on your first show, what was the first show, the opening? What was that experience? What do you remember about that experience, opening for Starlight Express?
I just felt so much power. It felt like power just going through me. Just with the live band and the smoke and the slot opening up for us to come in, and it just felt so impressive to be a part of that.
Yeah, I know that for me, and this has been for some of the other alumni as well. Those of us that did that opening scene, with the guitar and just the music and just the opening of the wedge and us coming through, turning our lights on, and I still get goosebumps just thinking of that moment because the first time. And what's your most memorable moment of the opening for you?
I think it's just before the opening, the bonding between all the guys who are getting ready to go on stage. We must have developed about a 30-second handshake. Just getting ready to go out, bumping fists and thumping chests and everything, and then getting ready for the music to start, and then that was just a huge bonding experience. Everybody in that group is still family.
Yeah, we used to do that as Rockies. We used to have our hands out, especially in the German production, and we'd go, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on the the production. And we said, go Rockies, and then we pump up, and then we get on stage and explode. But for you with Starlight Express, I know this is challenging because there's a lot of great memories. You just shared a couple. What are some other memories that come to mind that just really help, just really come to mind as a performer and as a human being, that just poignant moments for you through Starlight?
Well, the old cliche that the show must go on always hangs true. There was one city where we were doing that double pass out through the thrust, and it was very narrow, and I remember getting bumped by Flat Top's boxes into the pit, and I fell backwards into the pit, and I remember Angela fell on top of me, and I caught her and I just pushed her up, and I couldn't get up to get back in line but I just sat there and waited. And then once a time in the show came, in the number, not in the show, but once a time in the number came, I climbed out and jumped back on stage and continued. And just it's just okay. You know, some things in life happen, and it's one of those unexpected things, and you just got to make the best of it and keep going.
Oh yeah. It was funny. Last night, it reminded me, last night I was, teaching our students, talking about how life gets in the way. That there's things happen. You have your plan and all this stuff happens. So you do your best to improvise, to do whatever you can to overcome that moment. And you just described exactly, when it's live theater, the show keeps going. And it's,
Yes.
and I remember many times when we did that pass, when the whole cast would pass on that loop. And I remember one time, most of us fell because I think Dustin didn't turn all the way around, and then he got clipped, and he clipped Sean, and then all of us, they went down, and a whole bunch of us went down. And I think I believe we had to stop the show to reset it, at least from a certain point, because it was just a big mess.
Yeah, I'm sure we can all tell a bunch of bloopers. I mean,
But it was great. It was good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Now, another thing is, you just shared one that is a life lesson, but what are other life lessons that you might have drawn out of your experience with Starlight?
Oh my goodness. I think one of the main things is that, like, applying to outside life. It's like the notes we would get to get better, to improve our situation. Many times those notes were general, and it's always been assume they're talking to you unless they specifically mention somebody. And it might not even apply to you, but it would be good for you to take notice of that, to pay more attention to that situation that's in your life. Someone may give a group note that hey, somebody is doing something, and you got to think, well, is that me? It might not be me, but I got to pay attention.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Appreciate that. Now, I want to make sure that all alumni let everyone know what they're doing. I know that Starlight was a part of our life, it was part of my life, but it's not my whole life. It's just a part. And so, what are other things that you're doing now that maybe you have a passion for? How are you, how are you contributing? What are you doing now these days?
Right now, I am working in graphics for a trade show company, and a lot of it is attention to detail, and that comes from the theater life. Paying attention to everything. Everything needs to look good, and that's also part of theater. My side hobby is obstacle course racing. I still enjoy the physical activity, and it's not rolling down ramps or skating bowls or anything, but it's hanging from bars and swinging and climbing things, and I just enjoy that, and I think it helps keep me younger.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I know you. I on my feed, I've been seeing some of the things you've been doing. So you had just recently did an event, right?
Yeah, I was in Hawaii, and
In Hawaii.
it was a special weekend of where they schedule 3 races in a weekend, and the first race was what they call a beast. It's the Spartan race series, and the first race, the beast, is about 13 plus miles, and this one turned out to be 14.2.
Wow.
And the second one on the second day was on the second day they have 2 races. The first one is about a 9-mile race, and the second one's a 4-mile race. So it's about the same distance over both days, but they're 3 different races, and you do, pretty much different length of the same course. It's not a lap, so you're doing a partial course of the longer one, and as you get shorter, you're doing partial courses. But a lot of the obstacles are climbing obstacles and crawling obstacles and lifting and swinging and all sorts of things. It's just fun.
So you found a way to feed that adrenaline.
Yeah.
I love it. I think that's pretty awesome. You got to stay in shape for that, because that can put you out. I know a couple of people that do Spartan races. They'll do the Ironman, and just I'm in that circle because I'm around a lot of athletes, so they're doing all those things, and so what I do is I do a lot of grappling. So that's my adrenaline, is when I grapple. I do jiu-jitsu, so that's my thing. So I love getting beaten up and learning from that, and so. But hey, how can people, if they wanted to connect with you? Because I'll put that right below. So everyone, if you want to connect with Nelson Yee, if he lets you guys, it'll all be below. Now, how can they, if they wanted to connect with the let's say other alumni, but do keep in mind that we have some incredible fans out there, and the fans have been really connecting with me, and they're loving this. They're loving that the alumni are sharing, and so guys, if you do want to connect with Nelson Yee, how can they do that, Nelson?
Oh, they can connect with me on Facebook.
There you go.
Or email. My email is nyee2@cox.net, cox.net. Those are probably the easiest ways. The things I check the most are, Facebook and my email. So
perfect. Excellent. And so, guys, enjoy. Nelson, we'll have pictures of you. You'll be sending me your favorite pictures of you, and maybe some links if you find if there's any videos of you or anything like that. Just send the links to me, and it'll all be right below. And Nelson, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to be part of this project. This project has really become a beast.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So I'm excited about it, and I'm able to chisel that within my schedule, like you had to chisel within your schedule to do this. So I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it.
Well, Peter, thank you for doing this, and my love to you and your lovely wife, Renee. I hope this just takes off, and I'm really impressed with all of this.
Thank you so much. Now, you have kids as well?
Yes, I have a son and a daughter. My son Richard is 34.
Dang!
Lives in France. I have a picture from the tour of I think it was Ronnie or Angel bouncing him on his head, and when he was tiny. And my daughter is 19. And she goes to Grand Canyon University in Phoenix, and she's got a bit of the show bug in her.
Oh, wow. Well, say my greetings to all of them, your family and all, and I'll be following you, watching. I'll share this with you. Thank you again so much for this. And one final word, one final tip, one life lesson for everyone. I'll let you have the last word before we sign off.
Oh, just don't give up. Keep moving.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Peter.
Take care. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone, for joining me on this episode of Starlight Express Alumni Podcast. Next week, I will get together with another alumni. Be sure to subscribe. You can subscribe right here on the website at starlightexpress.club. We are definitely on the iTunes and Stitcher, and we're looking to get on the other platforms, so make sure you check there, subscribe there, and stay connected. If you are Starlight alumni, please be sure to reach out to me if you would like to be on the podcast. Would love to hear your stories and share your story with the Starlight Express fans and other alumni. Look forward to sharing with you next week. Everyone, have a great day.